young adults court is regarded as a critical part of the te ao mālama process for the reasons that it accords with the principle that those who come to court are seen, heard, understood.
Atamari e ke koutou katoa, nau mai haere mai ki tēnei kōti. As you will be aware, Ngāti Toa have provided the whakatauki iti reire teitei kukatia ka taia as the name of the young adults list court here in Porirua.
Porirua was chosen for the young adult list, partly because of the strong relationship between the court and the community.
We know that the front door to Porirua is through mana whenua, Ngāti Toa rangatira. And so they were our first stop in this journey for us, because they are the foundation name for Porirua. They are the ones who can link, who provide advice, who are the glue and the gel to everyone operating within Porirua.
Former Principal Youth Court Judge John Walker established the young adult list to cater for the needs of young adult defendants aged 18 to 25 years old. The young adult list also intended to enhance fairness and access to justice for victims, farno members and anyone else who is affected by the business of the court.
So this really arose out of my experience and the experience of other youth court judges about the high prevalence of what we might call barriers to participation in court. Autism, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, acquired brain injury, communication disorder, dyslexia. They're also coming from a background of exposure to trauma which affects brain development. They have often alcohol and other drug addictions, sometimes mental health issues emerging very, very young.
Information sharing between the youth court and young adult list is a new initiative that gives judges and other court staff insights into the young adult backgrounds.
I'm thinking about an example where a young person came into this court, 23 years of age, had a lot of driving offences. The underlying issue was the person didn't have a licence. On the face of it, it looked like he was just a person who was disobeying the court's orders for disqualification, etc., and he was getting escalating responses to that offending. On the information sharing that I had before me, I knew he had fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and was intellectually disabled. That's why he didn't have a licence.
The young adult list seeks to make the court process easy to understand, follow and engage in for young adult defendants, victims and whānau from all backgrounds, helping everyone involved to feel seen, heard and understood. It encourages participation by using plain language. Consultation with 18 to 25-year-olds revealed serious misunderstanding of the word remand.
They were asked a simple question about what they thought remand meant, and for many of them, they thought it meant you were going to prison, you were going to jail. And that would explain a lot of people who just seem to zone out when the word remand is said. And our understanding of remand from a legal perspective is it's putting the case off. We've now changed it. We don't say remand, we say your case will go off to, or you need to come back to the state.
So we'll see how we go with that, okay? So I'm going to put your case off to the 1st of December, so you'll need to come back then.
So little things like that can make a big difference.
This Porirua mum believes the young adult list was the best thing to happen to her son during a very dark time.
My son got caught speeding with weed in his car. He was using it to self-medicate. If he didn't have any, then he just couldn't cope with his day. The first day of court was really scary because we had no idea what to expect. But the judge was, while he was stern, he was still very kind and made me feel better. The judge wanted to know if there was family, and he said hello to us, asked who we all were there. So he got sent to a counsellor in Porirua, and he'd had psychiatrists and counsellors before, but this particular counsellor also is a drug and addiction counsellor, so he's been fantastic in both areas, the depression and the drugs, which kind of go together for my son anyway.
As well as counselling, the young man had to do community work. Now completed, he has graduated from the young adult list court. Importantly, the Young Adult List Court also gives victims a voice throughout the process, an opportunity to be seen, heard and understood.
Sometimes they can be very hesitant. They don't want to come in. When they come in, they're welcomed and their views are heard. It builds them up. It makes them feel, actually, someone's listening to me.
To a large part, the Young Adult List mirrors practices in the Youth Court. In the Young Adult Court, young people will receive support from a range of community-based specialist services. Community services include bail support officers, specialist adolescent probation officers, and mental health nurses, Māori, Pacific, and ethnic services and WINS. The formal and sometimes archaic nature of the court system can make it daunting and difficult for young adults, victims, and whānau to participate. In Gisborne, horseshoe-shaped seating means support people are in the young adults' line of sight, and services are easy to identify.
We've done that so that there is the ability for people to participate without backs being turned, because of course one of the principles for Young Adults List is all about participation. So we've tried to provide an environment that is more welcoming, an environment where participants can be a bit more relaxed, because from that is their willingness to engage.
To avoid confusion and alienation for the young adult, the lawyer moves to stand right beside them.
You know, they don't necessarily hear because of the nerves, and so that's why you just do have to check in and make sure they're hearing and understanding.
An essential element of the Young Adult List is to create an intervention plan with and for the young person. It addresses not only the alleged offending, but the reasons behind it. It can also include actions to put things right, such as apologising to victims or attending restorative justice.
So we want to make sure that the intervention plan has all aspects where they're going to get something from that plan that benefits them, the community is going to get something returned to them, and yet we also can feel that what caused it is also answered. Something like alcohol or drugs in the back of it, then obviously there's going to be an alcohol and drug assessment and possibly counselling. If there's some mental health issues resulting to it, then that might be helping them connect with mental health services and engage.
But you've got to do those things, the defensive driving course, the full licence, the drug and alcohol assessment and education, and of course a donation to a charity. If you complete those tasks that are in the plan that you've agreed to, that the police would support you being discharged without a conviction, which means you won't have a court record.
So they're not told what they have to do. They become part of a plan that they are involved in, that they can make the matter right. Moving forward, that would make them a better young adult, and by making them a better person, we create less victims and make our country, you know, the safest country to live in.
It gives hope to all of us that it is a court system that can deal with the offending in a way that hopefully we don't get people coming back time and time again.
Like the reo, the bellbird, fly unto the loftiest tree. The Young Adult List takes us further on the journey towards Te Ao Marama, the world of light, for the justice system.